Good morning. I'm Lee Anderson, a member of the parish committee here at First Parish. We're glad you're here online or in person. And we have a special welcome for visitors, especially people who are here for their first or second time. Please join us downstairs after the service for coffee and conversation. And for those people online, there will be a chance for chatting after the service on Zoom. Our mission is to build community, search for meaning, deepen our spirituality, and make a better world. To learn more about First Parish or Unitarian Universalism, please visit UUism.org or contact Kate Holland, who's the Director of Lifespan Education and Engagement here at First Parish. Also, you can reach out to a member of the parish committee or to Reverend Stephanie if you have ideas or questions. A big thanks to all our service participants today. Their names are in the order of service. Please note that Middlesex County currently has a low risk for COVID, so masks are optional. Please join me now in taking a moment to say hello to one another, including a wave to the front camera, because then people at home can see you. Welcome again, and our service will now begin.
What a beautiful way to start the service. That was lovely. Thank you. Hello and welcome. My name is Alyssa Lee. I'm the Ministerial Intern here at First Parish, and my pronouns are she or they. Each month this year, we've been exploring a diverse array of faith traditions, with it all culminating in Unitarian Universalism. Reverend Stephanie began this year with Why Church? And I began to think of this service as Why Unitarian Universalism? Perhaps it's because, like me, you've found a place where you can show up as your whole self, or where you do not feel hemmed in by restrictions you might have once felt in a religious environment. Or perhaps this is a place where your kids can grow up in a community that encourages their own exploration into their personal beliefs. Or it's because this is a faith that celebrates the inherent worth and dignity of all people, a free and responsible search for meaning, as well as justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, which are just a few of our 7 principles. So today it's a little bit different. It's our RE for Everyone program, in which we'll have a shortened service here in the sanctuary and then break out into 3 different options. The first option will be here in the sanctuary and also online, and that's going to be diversity of UU spiritual practices. And then downstairs in the Stokey Library with Kate will be journaling in word or image, so working on art journaling and other types of journaling. So there you go. And then walking in nature. You'll meet Joel Angeli, wait, here we go. Joel Angel, there we go, out by the sheds. I was practicing so hard before the service too. I did take Italian in college too, so you would think, but. But as we go about the service today and the breakout sessions, I invite you to think about what would your answer be to why UU? I would now like to invite the Chapman family to light our chalice and lead us in our covenant.
With open minds and loving hearts, we gather to search for a meeting, to care for one another, and to work together for a better world.
Thank you for that. Please join me with hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us. It's in your gray hymnal, and please rise in body or spirit. Please join me in the spirit of prayer or meditation. Let's take a deep breath in and out. And another deep breath in and out. Spirit of love and connection, as the hymn just reminded us, love will guide us. Through the hard night, it will lead the way. Love can change the world. May we remember that it can also change us. Then when we let go and let ourselves care, and let that care be known without regard to whether we look cool or if it is even reciprocated with equal measure. Leaning into love can change our whole world. If we let our love and compassion guide us, we might be surprised of where we find ourselves in the end. May we find new ways to open ourselves to love and to extend kindness, even when it's not always desirable. Amen. So for a while in my 20s, I attended a non-denominational evangelical church in Oklahoma City. And one Sunday service, during the time when we would pass around the microphone and people would pray for others, one of the elders of the church was praying for the unborn children of the world, and he said, "You cannot attend this church and be pro-choice." And I, of course, sat there in my chair and was like, oh boy. I'm certainly not saying that everyone must have the same political viewpoints to be part of a deep and enriching faith community. But I had known for quite some time that this likely wasn't the place for me. But I cared deeply for the members of the congregation, and I was hesitant to leave. And though I knew this is not where I belonged, I had no idea where I did belong. Spoiler alert, I eventually found that place with a Unitarian Universalist congregation. I will say, however, that one of the complexities of being a UU, and I'm using the shorthand for Unitarian Universalism and UU interchangeably here, is finding a way to describe to others just what the heck we believe in. Why did I find this place so appealing, and why do I come back? Why do we all keep coming back? When I say that I attend a Unitarian Universalist congregation, I'm more often than not met with blank stares and something like a vague nod, like, oh yeah, that's that church on the green, right? The common refrain amongst most people who do know about us is often that we believe in anything and everything, and in some people's eyes, nothing. Or amongst some members of my family, and perhaps yours, I'm met with a not so well-veiled disapproval of this, in their words, non-religious church that I attend. It feels more like a meeting than a worship service, has been said more than once. And I realize this may sound odd coming from someone who is just about to graduate from a UU seminary, but I will admit that I do sometimes struggle finding the elevator speech to define just who and what we are. I know how I feel when I enter this building and how much I care deeply about the members of my congregation in Oklahoma City and now the members and friends of this congregation. The support I have felt and the support I have seen given to people who sometimes do not get that same support in other parts of their lives. But who are we exactly? Sometimes that's a less easy answer for me. I often look to the 7 principles for guidance, but I also look to all of you. I'm struck by how many of us come from so many different faith backgrounds, including those who did not come from any particular religious background at all. I also see the numerous ways many of us find meaning in the world, and I know there is nowhere else I can be. And perhaps you feel similarly. I recently heard a talk from acting director of the UUA's Hope for Us conflict engagement team, Connie Goodbread, who said her interpretation is that Unitarian Universalism is a spiritual discipline that has 2 disciplines that may lead you to your own depth. First, she says we're covenantal, not creedal. Therefore, we will be asked into relationship, and that relationship will be defined by our highest values. And it is then that a community can be built. She then says the second discipline of UUism is pluralism. She says that we are the people that understand that many things are true at the same time, and everyone's reality is a reality. And it's not just my truth that needs to be amplified, but A's truth and B's truth and C's truth. We each bring our own realities and our own gifts. These all give us a piece that so we can see the bigger picture, and that can be transformational in many of our lives. Goodbread says, UUs aren't born again, but are born again and again and again. This has rung the most true to me than perhaps any other definition of what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist that I have heard. My ability to bring to you my spiritual practice of mining the depths of my soul through poetry, but also hearing about others who find meaning in nature or meditation, or I suspect for a large segment of this congregation through music. It has transformed me in ways that I likely did not expect when I showed up on the doorstep of First Unitarian in Oklahoma City in 2013. It was the first faith tradition I belonged to in which I no longer felt I had to hide what I believed, either spiritually, politically, you name it. Now, I'm not saying that it is perfect or that there are people who do not feel they sometimes cannot express their whole selves in these spaces, or that we do not have more work to do with regard to anti-racism, amongst many other areas of growth. But it is a place that has brought many of us hope, and a space where we can find true connection, where we are buoyed by the covenant we have created together, but also what we learn when we are allowed to each bring our own gifts and understandings to this space and engage with each other and find meaning in these relationships. Blessed be. Now I'll invite Kate Holland to join us.
Good morning. This morning's offering will go towards First Parish's work and mission. Some of you hopefully were here yesterday for the Uganda Project collection, which was a lovely, fun day. And it helps us all support the work that we want to do, that higher self that Alyssa spoke to. If you would like to give online, you can go to our website, www.uuwayland.org/donate, or you can download the Banco app and text 833-654-0104. And if you're sitting in the sanctuary, you're welcome to put something into the baskets that will be going around. Thank you for all being here and for supporting this church.
Thank you to the choir. That was really beautiful. Just a reminder, we have 3 breakout sessions. There's one here in the sanctuary with Patrick Foley and myself. And then there's one downstairs in Stokey, and it's just downstairs and towards, more the other direction. Yes, where Kate is pointing her hand. And then meeting by the sheds out here to my left with Joel, and whose last name I'm not going to attempt again. And both the walk and the journaling are probably the more kid-friendly opportunities, but obviously welcome anywhere in this church. So I leave us with words today from UU Minister Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage. We have gathered under the banner of a shared faith. We are born of a welcoming grace that extends and receives love. We are touched by the ways we have fallen short of who we strive to be, and we are reborn, forged by a greater courage. Let us move from this place encouraged and refreshed for the journey ahead. Blessed be.